I'm fine. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Go Eagles. That's right.
Go Beagles. Oh, I thought you said go Beatles. My bad. That was totally, completely, utterly my fault.
There's Joe.
Okay.
All right, so I've got us live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube while Kenny Chesney plays with the Boys of Fall.
That's a great intro for us.
That is. We have
It
about
works,
a
it
minute
works
and
on
45
Monday nights
seconds.
at KMOO as well.
Absolutely. I'm sure it's a popular intro for a lot of shows.
Yeah, I'm sure it's poplar. That's a wood, right? Poplar?
Popular.
Yeah, it's very
It
popular.
is, yeah.
Not to be confused with, like, other stuff
Yeah.
that's not very popular.
Did you hear George, the Cowboys rumor about Max Crosby
I heard
today?
about that. I think they could find a spot for him.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's just
Probably
a rumor.
not. Yeah.
You made it. We were not worried at all.
Good to see you.
We were terrified, but we weren't worried. We're 1 minute out. We are live on YouTube. David's got his big old clod hopping feet. No, wait,
I do not.
Never mind. I got my clod hopping bag on there. All right, go ahead. Goat head. Hold on. Stop. Go. Don't go ahead no more. Ungo ahead. All right, pull. All right, there you go. All right, 30 seconds out.
Just think, all these people here to see us.
The other thing is all the people who are on YouTube right now are going, what on earth is going on? When is the show going to start?
Yeah, they're used to us, Ken.
I know, right? There's just no
All
getting
there
over,
is to
there's
it.
just no getting past that, right?
No, they've known us too long.
Let's see
Glad to
if,
have you here, Counselor.
see if I can find my van stats here.
Scott Myers chimed in already, said, go Garland Owls, and got to mess with bonus, guys. So apparently bonus Billy's got to be. Okay, 5 seconds. Here we go. All right, friends, neighbors, and all of you associates here in the local Beehive on 95.1 KWJB. We are live at the Native Sun as we get ready to kick off the famed, the infamous, the Huddle Show. And having said that, I'm going to turn it over to David Barber.
Well, thank you, Ken, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Huddle Show, your number one source for football information in Van Zandt County. I'm David Barber with Van Zandt News, and joined as always by T.A. Hale from the Buzz Brothers, Joel Elliott, the counselor. Engineer Ken is with us tonight, as always. And guys, I came in here tonight about to say something about we got some big Friday night football games this week. But that all changed this afternoon. We're not going to talk about Friday night football games. We're going to talk about Thursday night football games. So I guess we need to fill in everybody on what's going on.
That's right. You heard it here first, David.
That's right.
Breaking news. So we have got the Canton Eagles and the Ferris Yellow Jackets. That game is going to be moved to Thursday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. And most of the district and area games have also moved their games to 7 o'clock on Thursday. On Thursday, but David, the Vandals have not.
No, as of 2 o'clock this afternoon, Coach Moffitt informed me that we're still on for Friday night at 7.
And that's is that at Pittsburgh?
That's at
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Do they have different weather?
I told David
Yeah.
the weather is a little different that far, whatever direction that is.
They may have snow.
North, about
They may
20.
be getting snow.
Who
instead of
knows? It could be
rain.
anything over there.
That's right. We're closer to Oklahoma than y'all are.
Right.
Well,
But now that's not the only game that's changed to Thursday in our area.
Talk to us.
Wills Point and Kemp are playing at Kemp, and that will be a Thursday night game at 7 o'clock. And then, Joel, your Grand Saline Indians, what are they doing this week?
Well, see, and I haven't heard. I didn't know if you knew because I don't. Are they moving to Thursday?
Well, we don't know yet.
Because that's what I was looking
Wait a
for.
minute, could you repeat that?
Hey, during the show,
No, I can't. I don't remember what it said.
before the show's over, we will know that information.
Well, I did hear Grand Saline and Lone Oak is Thursday night at 7
Okay.
o'clock. And Grand Saline.
Okay.
I will get a confirmation from my man Michael Lewis if he will respond to me.
And Edgewood is off this week. They don't care who anybody is playing on which night because they're off.
Or else they'd have played on Thursday.
That's right. That's right. So right now, Van's the only holdout. Van Pittsburgh still set for Friday as we're speaking.
They ain't scared of a little lightning.
They are literally the only game in the area playing on Friday night. I think Athens is also a Thursday night game.
Lindale, Maybank is Thursday night in Maybank.
Yeah.
Malakoff moved their game to Thursday. And that list is probably going to grow. We'll have to watch the forecast tonight and see.
I've got my information from both the Grant Saline Sun and Micah Lewis. GS plays Thursday.
Okay.
It's official.
So changing your game to Thursday night is a surefire way to have perfect weather on Friday night.
Well, maybe that's why we're holding out, playing on Friday. But anyway, well, why don't we talk about some games that were played last week? And Ken is so anxious for me to talk about the Van Vandals' victory over the Gilmer Buckeyes.
Me too, David.
I'm going to share that information
so
with you now. Here we go, Ken. Get ready.
I'm so excited.
David, I'm going to tell you, before you start, I was watching this game the entire night, or at least paying attention to it during our broadcast. I had been, following Gilmer. They were ranked in the top 10 in the state still, despite having a 2-4 record.
Right.
And I felt like this was a real measuring stick game for Gilmer to maybe expose them.
Notice he was holding out for Gilmer. He was watching because of Gilmer.
Well, I was very interested because in our picks, you will remember I picked Van.
Yes.
But anyway, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, another spectacular night on offense for the Vandals. I tell you, this offensive unit, to be honest with you, I haven't seen anybody really stop them yet. The only team I've seen stop Van's offense is Van.
Mm-hmm.
And the other night, Van did not punt. That's second week in a row they have not punted.
Wow. Against Gilmer, that's saying something.
Right. No punts, no fumbles, no interceptions. They finished with 28 first downs and 504 yards of total offense, including 323 yards rushing and 181 yards passing.
Wow.
And DeQuavion Williams, better known as Q.
The Q
had another great night, 27 carries, 197 yards rushing, and 3 touchdowns. Raleigh Hinch, your favorite name.
Great football name.
Great football name.
He completed 10 out of 16 passes for 181 yards and 1 touchdown. But how about this in the run game? Raleigh had 17 carries for 122 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
Whoa.
He had by far his best game in the run game Friday night against Gilmer. And then on the receiving end, we had Cash Walker, 3 receptions for 16 yards. Connor Ammons, 3 receptions, 63 yards. But I want to mention a young sophomore named Case Levette, H-back for the Vandals. They threw a pass to him, and he caught it for a touchdown. His first reception as a varsity player was a touchdown.
Good for him.
So great job by him.
He's setting expectations that it may be hard to follow up
Could
on.
be.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get going, though.
He's happy for now.
But talking to Coach Moffitt today, I've heard this over the years from Coach Moffitt, Coach Regal. I'm sure Coach Elliott probably has said this from time to time during his career. But 2 of the more important drives in the football game is the last drive of the first half, the first drive of the second half. And I want to tell you, Van executed those 2 drives Friday night to near perfection. The game started out as a wild offensive shootout. It was 24-24 late in the second quarter. Gilmer had 4th down and goal on the 4-yard line, and they went back to pass, and Van sacked the quarterback for a loss. So Van takes over at the 14-yard line, I think it was, with 37 seconds to go in the half and 2 timeouts. And I'm thinking, okay, it's 24-24. Let's just run out the clock and get things together at halftime. Well, not Coach Moffitt. He says we are going down the field. So he's throwing the ball. They're running the ball a little bit. They did have 2 timeouts left. And they ran 6 offensive plays and got down to Gilmer's 35-yard line with 1 second to go in the half.
But how much time when they started the drive?
They started with 37 seconds to go, deep in their own end of the field. They drove the ball down the field, and I said 35-yard line. That's not correct. They drove down to the 18-yard line to set up a 35-yard field goal. And Alex Aceves, who has not missed a kick all season, he hadn't missed an extra point, he hadn't missed a field goal, a perfect kick right down the center with 10 yards to spare. That kick would have been good from 45. He drilled
That's a weapon.
and that gave Van a 27-24 lead at halftime. So they come out in the third quarter. Gilmer is kicking off, and they try the onside kick, the surprise onside. Van recovers it. So now they're about midfield. They drive the ball down, and they take almost 6 minutes off the third quarter clock and score a touchdown. And just like that, they're up 34-24. And Gilmer was playing catch-up the rest of the night after that. And Van got the lead up to 17 points. A couple of times Gilmer got it back down to 10, but never really seriously threatened in the second half. And Van came out with a big-time victory.
You know, people who pay attention to high school football, they know the name Gilmer, and they may just I feel like they may just be saying, well, Gilmer's having a down year. They don't have talent this year. You know, I would say Van was not thought to be having a lot of talent this year. And I'm just saying, this also wasn't thought to be Van's biggest year either. And yet they took care of Gilmer, who is a powerhouse, perennial, just a great program all the time. David, in your assessment, what is going on with Gilmer, or how was the game won? Just what you saw it.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I think that offensive line for Van again was so dominant in the game. Several of the drives for the Vandals took time off the clock, took possessions away from Gilmer. And I think week in and week out, that offensive line continues to be the story for the Vandals. And you can see by some of these offensive numbers. And much like we've talked with Canton before, Van is getting contributions from a number of different players, running backs, receivers, and the quarterback is playing tremendous football for a first-year varsity starter. And so offensively, they're on a roll now.
That's great. That is great.
One other thing I want to say about the game last Friday night, of course, a lot has been discussed about the fact that Coach Moffitt was 0-6 against Gilmer. And he's the one that brought it up.
It's because I hadn't picked them to lose to Gilmer yet. Just letting y'all know that's. You're welcome, Van. Just gonna say it.
So, I asked Coach Moffitt about the significance of this win over Gilmer, and he admitted, he said, look, these kids have been hearing the same things that we've been hearing about the fact that they're 0-6. 3 of the games you might say were competitive. Three were not competitive.
Yeah.
But Coach Moffitt, I told him this morning in our interview, I said, Coach, you may not want to comment on this, but I will. I think those kids on that Van football team wanted to win this one for you. And he said, I hadn't really thought anything about that until one of the players came up to me after the game was over. And he said, Coach, this one's for you. And he said that really, that meant a lot to him.
That's a special motivation right there.
And I said that to Canton, Regal, last week, because you get the sense, and I think that the Gilmer game may have had a little bit of a special contribution, but the one thing that I've always watched with Moffitt, his kids want to make him proud.
Yes.
It's not a And the same thing with Regal right now. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing with Drennan right now.
Yeah.
But that's not always the case. Some teams, even successful teams, don't always have that relationship of the kids wanting that coach to be proud of them. And maybe that sounds a weird way to say it, but
No.
you have some coaches that you're under the thumb, and it's the totalitarian. But these kids, kids are going to be kids, and coaches are going to be coaches. But at the same time, it's a different game when the kids truly have that relationship with the coach of, I want him to look at me and be proud. And that's kind of the sense I get, not just with the Gilmer game, but Moffitt's got kids that don't want to disappoint him.
Yeah,
Right.
year after year, young kids coming up want to win his approval.
Yeah.
They admire him so much, and throughout the program as they go through, they want to do what he needs. And, I think that really strengthens your program overall. You talk about culture, and they've got it. They're in Van, and it's rooted in things like that.
And there's been times in the past, even since I've been on this show, I don't know how many years that's been now, but there's been teams in Van Zandt County where you don't see that connection between the coach and the kids.
Yeah.
It's not something that everybody points out, but
it's apparent.
But it's apparent. And right now, I at least looking around the county, and even in Edgewood right now, I'll tell you right now, Bechtel has stepped in, and it's the same thing. But Moffitt has had that for so long.
16 years.
That you've got kids that have been watching the Vandals and wanting to, play for Moffitt for all these years. And I think that's one of the things that makes them so successful. And the fact that a kid actually came up and said it at the end of the game, just solidifies that.
A lot of times that voice in the locker room will kind of get lost. But his has held some meaning and power all this entire time due to the respect level that the kids have for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, now that the Gilmer game is in the past, it's time to move ahead and think about the next opponent. And so all Van has to do this Friday night is go play a Pittsburgh Pirate team that arguably is the most improved team in the district from last season to this season. They have a new head coach, former coach at center, is now the coach at Pittsburgh, and they're 5-2, just like the Vandals. Pittsburgh's 1-1 in district. Pittsburgh lost to Gilmer by 11 points in their district opener. Pittsburgh is an up-and-coming team, and Coach Moffitt said offensively they've got 4 really good receivers, and they're all fast. And defensively, he said they have played extremely well so far. So he is looking for a real battle on the road Friday night. Assuming it's Friday night.
To me, this falls into a taking care of business game category.
Right.
They are better than Pittsburgh. That's a fact. But they got to go over there and take care of business. And that's what they got to do the rest of the way out.
And if they take care of business at Pittsburgh, and you certainly think they'll take care of business at Paris North Lamar next week.
If they can find the stadium.
Yeah, that's right. That will set up a district championship showdown in Van Memorial Stadium November the 7th against Texarkana Pleasant Grove.
And I pulled this up because I didn't remember exactly what the numbers were. Gilmer, even though they'd had 2 wins going into last week, and I know not a lot of people watch the Harris rating system or even know what it is, I guess, but Gilmer was ranked 17th and had a 249 rating last week. Van was 26th and had a 245, meaning that Gilmer was a 3-point favorite before the game. And I think there were a lot of people who saw that they'd only won 2 games and thought maybe this was a different Gilmer team. This is still a really good Gilmer team. And I think when people are like, well, what's going on with Gilmer? They've been playing, Kilgore, Lindale. I mean, they've had a Van. I mean, Van falls right in that category. Gilmer is going to surprise people when it comes time to go to the playoffs because they may have a 500 record or even a 4 wins out of 10 and still do well in the playoffs. So Van beating Gilmer, I don't think was I don't think that was something that everybody's like, oh, Gilmer's down. I think Gilmer's a good team, and Van's just doing what Van.
And I'm curious to see what the score is this week on the Gilmer Texarkana Pleasant Grove matchup.
That will continue to tell us more about them.
It will.
Yes.
And I admit I was wondering about Gilmer. And I know they were 2-4 coming in, but they played some really tough opponents. They did get blown out by Kilgore.
Yes.
And I know they're in the top 5 in Big Big 5A, whatever. They got blown out by Kilgore. And then they got the game against Pittsburgh wasn't all that easy. Pittsburgh did score on them some.
Yeah.
And then Van beating them, not easily, but by 2 scores. It makes me wonder what's going on with Gilmer. They're not the same team.
Let me say this about their quarterback. He may be little, but that dude can throw the football. He had 5 touchdown passes Friday night for Gilmer. And he was an impressive player to watch.
How old is it, or is it what year is he?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But he was very good the other night. Yeah. All right. It's time to move on, talk about some sponsors. Then we're going to come back and talk some more about our Van Zandt County football teams and their performances from last week. Right now, we want to say thank you to Austin Bank with branches in Van and Grant Saline. We're also brought to you by Exit Realty Pro at 1445 South Buffalo Street in Canton, 903-567-7777. We're brought to you by Epic Industrial, the power of service. They want to wish the best of luck to all Van Zandt County high school football teams. We're brought to you by the Dwayne Wheeler Farmers Insurance Agency, auto, home, life, business, farm, and ranch. Their number is 903-963-8887. They're located at 121 West Main in Van. We're brought to you by Goods Service Station. They're proud to support Van Vandal football and Van Lady Vandal volleyball. They sell service at Goods Service Station. 903-963-7848. They're located at 172 East Main in Van. They now carry farm diesel. And we're brought to you by Elliott & Waldron Abstract and Title Company of Canton, located at 681 West Dallas Street in Canton, 903-567-4127. I'm David Barber, Van Zandt News sports correspondent, joined by T.A. Hale from the Buzz Brothers, the counselor Joel Elliott. Engineer Ken is with us tonight, and Engineer Ken, do you have a word to share?
I do. I want to let everybody know where we are. If you're watching us on YouTube, you already know we're at the Native Sun, which is on the corner of Buffalo and Dallas. Some of the great cooking that is available here, the food, the drinks, everything that you want in a local little Cheers type facility here.
It's a good analogy.
With a good
facility.
crowd.
Yeah. Not really a facility. It's just a hometown little setup right here.
It's a great place to be.
And we got a full house.
And it is a full house. I wish I could turn the camera around and show you, but David won't let me. He's cruel like that. But it is a very full house. We're off in a corner. And having said that, I'd invite you down to come down. There's still a little room left. There's a couple more chairs. Come on down and enjoy the crowd and enjoy the food and listen to the guys as they tell their stories, as they make up stuff about the football teams. That's almost always true. Except for when David's talking, but that's a whole nother thing altogether. And then also, I have one more thing to talk to you about. That's another one. Parker's Finds and Antiques here in Canton. Here's a word from them.
Parker's Finds Antiques on the square in Canton has lots of vintage stuff that will take you back in time. Locally owned and operated, they have antiques of all kinds. Parker's Finds has vintage items like cookware, plates, Raticutlery knives, books, and furniture. Parker's Finds offers jams, jellies, and all kinds of sauces. With a casual and friendly environment, Parker's Finds is open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 7:30, located at 113 East Tyler Street on the square in Canton. At Parker's Finds Antiques, where old is new and new is old.
All right, for all the other teams, because David has taken up 23 minutes of the first hour, the rest of you guys have to break your stuff down for all the other teams. Never mind. Just go right ahead.
Are you saying I got carried away?
No.
Well, David,
I would never say that,
you know
David.
what? After all those years of not beating Gilmer, he was due.
That's right.
It was,
That's right.
It was earned.
That's right.
David, we had time to kill. Don't worry.
You know, I'm 66 years old. I'm not sure how many more of these opportunities
And that
I'm
was
gonna
game.
have.
That was game 498.
Last Friday, yes.
Yep. This game is going to be 499. Theoretically, on Friday.
He used that Fruitvale math on us.
You know what? It's hard. It's math don't always math right.
See what I'm saying?
We're
People think it's simple, but it ain't simple.
it ain't simple over there.
David, actually, the Van Gilmer game was the game of the week. And we knew that. And so we wanted to give that a lot of time on the show because, honestly, there's not much to say about the other games, to be real honest.
That is real true.
You did
Very
fill
true.
some time, valuable time there.
Whew, thank
Now,
goodness.
which direction
Yeah.
should we go now?
We can talk. How about some Edgewood Bulldogs?
How about Edgewood? All right.
Okay, so the Edgewood Bulldogs coming off a a really emotional win over the Grand Saline Indians. And, Joel, I'm not just saying that to dig at you.
I would if I were you.
What they needed.
I'll do it next year if I can, or later this season if it's possible.
All that to say, what they needed to do was come into this game against Harmony and not have an emotional letdown and just stay focused, because really the rest of the way, what they got to do is take care of business on games that they should win. And so they took care of Harmony, 2-5 Harmony, 35-7. Edgewood moves to 6-2, so they stay in the driver's seat there of that district. I will say one thing: the defense, of course, only allowed 7 points. So the defense has continued to show that they're making improvement as each game goes on. And coming into the season, we knew about the offense, but the defense had a question mark beside them, and they seem to have found something. And so and they have 2 games left, maybe that part of the team is kind of rounding into form, and they're going to be at full speed when the playoffs come. I'll give you a few stats here. Trevor Golightly, he continues to have just a great year. He was 14 of 21, 193 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, a QBR rating of 111. So just a ho-hum night for him. He had 7 carries for 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Lucas Pippin, 8 carries, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jatham Johnson, 6 receptions for 91 yards. And Treston Turner, 3 catches, 51 yards, and 1 touchdown. Edgewood is on the bye week, and so they'll have some time to rest and heal up and get ready for these remaining 2 games, which are, you got 2-6 Parish Chisholm. That's at their place, okay? And then you've got Lone Oak, who is currently 6-1, and they will be at home. That's the last game you've really got to be aware of and play your best. You can't just count that as a win. They're 6-1. Now, Grand Saline took care of them easily, so if you look at that and try to kind of gauge what kind of team they are, Edgewood should win that. But you do have to stay sharp. You about to say something, Joel?
Well, Grand Saline plays Lone Oak this Friday.
Oh, I thought they already played. Okay.
No, they'll play this Friday. But so I still think that Edgewood and Grand Saline are going to – if something happens to either one of them in the regular season, I'm going to be shocked.
Right.
But I got a feeling after Friday night, Thursday night now, when Grand Saline gets through with Lone Oak, I got a feeling Edgewood's going to go, okay, yeah, we're good.
All right.
And I don't – nobody wants to look past anybody, but I do think in this district, Edgewood and Grand Saline –
if they just do what they're supposed to.
If they do what they're supposed to do, they should be having fun by the second half.
They're 1-2
yeah.
coming out of here.
Yeah. You said they have 2 more games. I hope they have 6 more games.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
So we can start to look forward at the playoffs because we're just radio guys. The coaches can't look forward to anything.
That's right.
That's right.
So if you look at the district that Edgewood matches up with, you've got Dangerfield. They're 4-0 in district. They're 5-3 overall. They're ranked 11th according to Max Preps. And then you've got in second place in that district, you've got DeKalb. They're 3-1 in district, 5-3 overall, and they are ranked number 25 according to Max Preps. And then you've got Hooks, who is 2-1. They're 4-3 overall, and so they're ranked 23rd. They're in the top 25 also. So you got 3 teams in that top 4 that are ranked in the top 25. The feeling is this all should shake out, and New Boston will probably wind up as the 4 seed. It's according to coaches who are paying attention and have some observations about that.
And have DeKalb and Hooks, they haven't played?
I did not look at the remaining schedule for both of those teams. But the coaches that are looking at this feel like there's a pretty good chance New Boston's going to end up as the 4 seed.
So Hooks and DeKalb play the last week, and I've got a feeling that's going to be for the 2nd and 3rd spots. So and that's not as important for Edgewood unless something goes wrong. But for Grand Saline, they'll end up getting the loser out of the Hooks and DeKalb most likely if that plays out the way that I'm expecting.
And Grand Saline is ranked higher than all the teams in that district other than Dangerfield.
What was ranked higher?
Max Preps. They're still in the top 25.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're still in the top
But
25.
I know that most coaches would prefer to have their bye week between the end of non-district and the beginning of district play. But Edgewood didn't have a choice in that. So now Edgewood has accumulated basically 8 games of bumps and bruises already.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they are really ready for a bye week.
And David, no major injuries so
Right.
far,
Right.
which is a big blessing 8 weeks into the season.
Yes.
Here, for sure. So the Bulldogs they're in as good a shape as they could possibly have imagined when the season started.
Right.
And they've just got to finish this thing strong, and then the playoffs are wide open for them. So we wish those guys a lot of rest and relaxation this week on their bye week. They have earned it.
So
Okay.
I'm guessing, Joel, that some of the Edgewood guys might show up at your game Thursday night.
I would be shocked if they don't. That's always the fun thing to do. I mean, there was way back when we didn't have an automatic bye week for everybody, but my freshman and sophomore year, Grants Lean only had 9 regular season games. We couldn't get a pre-district game, so we had a bye week. And everybody,
I did not know that.
Everybody on the team went and watched Quitman play that night.
Sure, it's a fun thing to go do.
So
I assume it still is.
Well, and I'll tell you, Jason Troutman, even in the playoffs, came and watched us because he wanted to heckle us. And
Doesn't surprise me.
saw him up close, like called me by name.
You don't want to see him up close. He's ugly. No, he's one of my good buddies.
That was T.A. Hale.
Trust me, Troutman's not listening.
If you need his phone number, go ahead or address, just go ahead and text in.
Troutman is not listening, I promise you. Okay, so that's Edgewood Bulldogs. Guys, what do we want to go to
Grants
next?
Lean? Or you want to go to me? Oh, go to me. Okay.
Going to go to you.
All right. We're going to recognize some sponsors, then we're going to come back and talk about Grants.
You better recognize.
Yes, absolutely. We're brought to you
Threw him off his
tonight.
game there, didn't I?
We're brought to you tonight by Legacy Dental Group, Family Dentistry, Cosmetic Dentistry, Oral Surgery, Orthodontics, Sedation Dentistry, 240 East Highway 243 in Canton, 903-508-2923. Rick John, State Farm Insurance Agency at 100 North 4th Street in Wills Point, 903-873-2858. Auto, Home, Life, and Health. We're brought to you by Robertson Electric, commercial and residential air conditioning and heating service. Free estimates, 2 locations, Wills Point, 903-873-2461. Terrell, 972-563-5254. We're brought to you by the M Square Property Management Company at 1455 South Buffalo Street in Canton, 903-502-0202. We're brought to you by Legacy Ag Credit, financing your legacy. Rural land, country homes, operating capital, farms and ranches, livestock and equipment, 903-567-2251. And we're brought to you by Hall Chevrolet GMC, 903-567-4106. They're located at 385 West Dallas Street in Canton. I'm David Barber, Van Zandt News sports correspondent, joined by T.A. Hale from the Buzz Brothers, the counselor Joel Elliott. Engineer Ken is with us tonight, and we're now going to turn things over to Joel, who's got information on the Grants Lean Indians.
Well, the good thing is Grants Lean did what they were supposed to do. In the first half, I think Grants Lean scored every time they got the ball except one, and it was an interception in the back of the end zone. So that's kind of what Grants Lean needed after last week. I'll tell you, I don't know if everybody is, but I'm still – I almost forgot who we played this past week because I'm still thinking about the Edgewood game.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. What I did like that Grants Lean did this past Friday is they utilized the intermediate range passing game. You know, Grants Lean typically likes to hit home runs with the long pass. Taylor was 11 of 13 for 170 yards. He had a really long pass that was caught down about the 5-yard line by Herring. But other than that, he was picking holes and finding spots. And I think after the Edgewood game, I think that kind of like what I was saying about Edgewood, this may be, 3 left, but there may be 4 weeks of this type of game where you can prepare for things that may not typically be what you're gonna see from Grants Lean. And of course, Prox didn't play Friday. So your receiving core was essentially Carson Herring, who's a sophomore, had 6 catches for 94 yards, and Ashton Withers, another sophomore, who had 3 catches, 46 yards, and a touchdown. So you got a couple of sophomores who are catching the ball, but a lot of it was in between defenders, finding holes in the zone, and I like seeing that. And the other thing that Jet did this week is even when he was scrambling, a lot of times, being as physically talented as he is, he's tempted to tuck the ball and take off because it usually works.
Right.
He was still looking downfield this week. So when he's still trying to get away from the traffic in the pocket, he's still looking downfield. Where I think before there's a lot of times he had that temptation to just tuck it and run.
Sure.
And I think that the next 3 weeks may be more of getting those types of plays into where he's comfortable doing that. And then I think Prox hopefully will be back this week.
That's concussion protocol, correct?
Concussion protocol.
Okay.
And then Lone Oak, and I know they're not looking past Lone Oak because if there is going to be anybody else on the schedule that's going to be a dog you got to play against, is going to be Lone Oak.
That's them.
So I suspect Grant Saline's going to come in and have a really good first half, and I hope they do. I hope that's what the process is. That's what happened this past week. The first half looked great. The second half, I'm not really that concerned about the slight let up, but it was pretty much done with after the first half, and it was just kind of practicing. Now for Chisholm, they only had 17 yards on 16 rushes. They were 11 of 32. They had 150 yards in the air, but they also had a pick that was returned for a touchdown and had a forced fumble, and Grant Saline did have a fumble recovery. So Grant Saline's doing what they need to do. I think that we'll see that on the next 3 weeks, and then whether it's Hooks or DeKalb that first round, that's going to be the first test that I think Grant Saline's really going to have again. Yeah. And I don't know that Edgewood's even going to have that. I think they'll end up with, was it New Boston's usually
maybe
predicted. So it's still.
If Grant Saline, if there's any silver lining to be had from the loss that Grant Saline had to Edgewood, it's that they're pouring out their frustration on their remaining opponents.
Yes.
And maybe self-evaluating. Mm-hmm. And that can be a powerful thing. We know that Grant Saline is a really good football team with a few really, really good players. And so that they could benefit some from the loss to Edgewood and kind of what that's going to do to them going forward.
Well, and in the Edgewood game, you had the sense, and it was literally from both sides. They felt like it looked like they were both wanting to throw that big punch. Mm-hmm. And this past week, Grant Saline came out, and their first pass was like a 12-yard pass. Their second pass was probably a 20-yard pass. And it was just that short passing game. And I think if Grant Saline gets to where they're patient like that, mm-hmm. it's going to drive teams crazy. And I'm hoping that that's what we're fixing to see over the next few weeks.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, guys, real quick.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Were you?
No, I was going to say, why don't I turn it over to you, Ken, because you have someone you'd like to recognize.
I figured you were going to say that. If you notice on YouTube right now, you're going to see that it's not Ryan. It's someone else. Introduce yourself to the congregation here.
I am Laren, humble servant here at Native Son.
Hey, Laren. This is a good man right here.
As a matter of fact, he's going to take your guys' orders. Now, the interesting thing is, hold on, do we need to guess what David Barber wants?
Unless he's going to throw us for a loop.
Well, I'm just still so excited about that win over Gilmer the other night. There's just no telling what I might order.
You may do something different tonight?
But I won't.
But he won't.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with my ham and brie.
Solid.
And with waffle fries. To go, please.
Absolutely.
What about you there, Joel?
Turkey and cracklings to go.
Turkey and cracklings to go.
That sounds like the name of a hit song.
I know, right? That's a country song just waiting to be written.
Okay, Laren, I'm going to have the ham and brie myself.
Absolutely.
Had that last week, and I'm a believer.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
For believing.
I want
to go here.
To go.
I want to talk about your special.
We'll talk about the fried oyster po' boy.
Yeah, how's that looking today?
It is excellent. We had it for a week, and I had it 4 times. The chef was getting mad at me for ordering it so much. It's so good.
I like it. Should I go with that?
I would go with that.
I mean, it's between that or the gumbo, or I have not tried the muffalata yet either.
Muffalata's really good, but I think the po' boy is the play tonight.
So the po' boy is the thing. They've had it a week. He's had it 4 times already. I've got to try this.
That's a good sign.
Fries, crackling, salad.
I'm going to go with Cracklins.
Okay.
Oh, waffle fries for me.
Yes, sir. Here to go?
To go, please.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that's Laren, ladies and gentlemen.
Laren, thank you.
Thank you.
You need to come out and see Laren.
Yes.
He was kind enough to come over here and put a headset on us. Get on YouTube, although he's leaning further away from. There we go. That's Laren right there.
I can tell you one thing. Laren is a football fan. He and I were talking Dallas Cowboys football and NFL football.
So
he
basically
knows
he's not a football
about
fan.
this stuff. So, like,
Now, wait
like
a
if he
minute. We
knows-
won.
Hold on.
Yeah. lot of good stuff to talk about this week.
That's right, baby. That's
Is there
right.
really anything good to talk about this week? I'm
That's
just
right.
throwing that out there.
Yeah,
I
that-
was a fan of the Cowboys back when they were the Starbacks.
Well, this week is we're going to take whatever happiness we can scrape up,
right.
and
That's
so
right.
this week we're happy.
Held them to 22. That's a victory.
That's
in
right,
itself.
baby.
That's right.
That's right.
That was good. That was good. Laren, well, thank you so much. And invite everybody out. Tonight it's pretty crowded. I see like 7 chairs available.
Yeah.
So
Got plenty of room at the bar.
It's a
Yeah.
crowded night. You can come out to the bar. Enjoy. The guys are wrapping up pretty soon. But how late are y'all open tonight?
We're open till 10 tonight. Kitchen
Look
till
at that.
9 on the weeknights, and
Check
10
that out.
bar
If
till
you think
10.
it's too late for you to come out and have a good time here at the Native Sun, you're wrong.
Come on out.
Still plenty of time.
Absolutely.
It's not even 7 o'clock yet. You can have supper and a drink and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere.
That's right.
Where'd you come up with the idea we're wrapping up soon? I thought we were just getting started.
Oh, we are.
Actually, we are wrapping up soon because we've got you past the Vandals, buddy. So pretty much everything else goes by pretty quick. I love David Barber, by the way, even though I give him a lot of grief. Laren, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Laren.
Absolutely.
And we're going to turn that back over to who now?
Well, do we want to talk Canton, Wills Point, or do we want to go to another round of sponsors?
Let's hit those sponsors first.
Okay. All right. Well, we are brought to you by Mill Creek Dental, making East Texas smile. Dr. Ann A. Duddle, General, Family, and Cosmetic Dentistry, and Orthodontics. They're located at 104 Burnett Trail in Canton at 903-567-2207. We're brought to you by Ship and Print, shipping, printing, faxing, copies, notary, office supplies. They have a community board. They have retail spaces for rent. They're located at 438 North 4th Street in Wills Point, 972-750-6063. We're brought to you by the Tim James Insurance Agency, Home, Auto, Business, and Farm, 548 West Highway 243 in Canton, 903-567-0627. And we're brought to you by Taylor Automotive at 27928 Highway 64 in Canton, 903-567-3948. I'm David Barber, Van Zandt News Sports Correspondent, joined by T.A. Hale from the Buzz Brothers, the counselor Joel Elliott. Engineer Ken is with us tonight, and we're ready to move along and talk about last Friday night's Van Zandt County matchup between the Canton Eagles and the Wills Point Tigers. Gentlemen, take it away.
All right, David. Well, the Battle of Highway 64 is what they call it. And in the end, it wasn't much of a battle. Canton took care of that one 63-7. They go to 7-0 on the season. They won 15 of their last 18. And this game went pretty much as expected. It was over late in the second quarter. But there was a very interesting, to be exact, a minute and 39 seconds that was something like I've never seen in high school football before. So Wills Point scores to make it 28-7 with a minute 39 left.
First half we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
First half. And so as Wills Point's getting ready to kick off, I asked our sideline reporter, Carter Day, who's doing a great job, by the way, I said, what are the odds, Carter, that the Eagles can get one more score in a minute and 39 seconds? And he replied something like minus 250. I said, okay, those are pretty long odds, but okay, all right. Canton takes the kickoff. It's a one-play, 65-yard touchdown pass to Ethan Lewis. We scored in 7 seconds.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so those odds hit, obviously. All right, so after we get a Mighty Mouse Galan extra point, which we'll talk more about that later, the Eagles kick off to the Tigers, and I asked Carter, okay, what are the odds that the Eagles score again with a minute, 12 left, or whatever it is? He said minus 1,000. There's no chance. There's no chance.
So he didn't go the other direction. He didn't go, well, after last time.
It's going to be harder. So the The Tigers promptly fumble the kickoff. The Eagles recover it. And it's a Court Ray 35-yard scamper into the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow.
So another touchdown within about 25 seconds, whatever it is. All right. Okay, so now, after another Mighty Mouse Galan made extra point, talk about that later, the Eagles kick it off to the Tigers. Tigers fair catch it about the 25-yard line. Second play from scrimmage, pick six. Lucas Hughes picks one off, takes it to the house. So you now have 3 touchdowns in a little less than a minute.
That's remarkable.
I've never seen that in my life.
So 28-7 to 49-7.
To 49-7, just like that.
That quick.
And then Wills Point got the ball back with about 45 seconds left, and they were able to run the clock out. But what was a non-competitive game was really exciting for about a minute and 39 seconds there at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So some individual stats here. Court Ray, he was 9 of 12, 315 yards, 4 touchdown passes. He ran it 7 times for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a pretty strong night offensively. Conrad Bastian, he carried it 5 times for 25 yards and 1 touchdown. Eli Boggs, 3 catches for 96 yards. Ethan Lewis, 4 catches, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns. Big night for Louie, as they call him. And then Cason French, he had 1 catch for 43 yards. His is interesting. That one, the catch was a jet sweep toss that he ran in for 43 yards. Now, Cason scored on the offensive side of the ball. He also had a pick 6. So he scored on offense and defense,
yep.
which was a lot of fun. Andreas Galan was 9 for 9 on his extra points, which makes him 18 straight for the season. Lucas Hughes had an interception return for a touchdown. Cason French did the same. Latham Pruitt, the senior, also had an interception. 5 different Eagles found the end zone. Court Ray, Conrad Bastian, Ethan Lewis, Cason French, and Lucas Hughes. On defense, Jaden Lopez led the team in tackles. He had 10. Callan O'Neill had 9. 3 of those were tackles for loss. Carson Hawkins had 8, and Branson Chambly had 8 as well. Through 7 games, the Eagles' margin of victory is 46 points. So
wow,
you do hear people ask who have they played, and I could go back and name them all, but I just know they beat them bad.
Yeah.
That's all I know, and they could have beat them as bad as they wanted to. And I don't say that to disrespect those teams. I just want people to understand that it's a 46-point margin, and that's with letting off the gas in every single game. Every single game. So
got a lot of underclassmen there who were getting some valuable time.
Absolutely.
Coach Regal used
because of that.
all of that time to his benefit.
That's right.
Now, how many fourth quarters has Court Ray played in this year?
Probably more than he should have. Honestly, he has played in some, but I think there's been one game that he's finished the game at quarterback. There's been one game.
Right.
Yeah, to your point. So Canton has got Ferris coming to town. Ferris just came off a loss to Quinlan Ford, 49-15. Last year, Canton at Ferris, that one was 28-14. And the thing I remember about that game was there were 8 unsportsmanlike conduct fouls called on Ferris at their place. Same coach, same group coming to Canton. I think it's okay if we start talking about the playoff matchups here. You think so?
Let me ask you before you move on to the playoffs, because I want you to come back to Canton.
Yeah.
Eli Rice, who scored the only touchdown for Wills Point, what number was he wearing?
99. He was a punter also.
And he had he threw 4 passes.
Only 4 passes.
Yeah, at wearing 99.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and he could throw it through a brick wall. Trust me, he's a big dude.
He sidearmed that ball a couple of times, like he was sidearming a baseball.
The touchdown pass that he threw, if the receiver hadn't caught it, it would have put a hole in him.
Well, I mean, I can sit here and talk about the numbers from Wills Point, but I don't know that that's going to make it any better. But I was going to point out that they had a number 99 who was their scoring utility guy, and apparently was kind of all over the field. And I was wondering if it was exactly what it sounded like. So he was a bruiser that was.
Yeah, he's not really fast. He could throw it. He could punt the heck out of the football. I mean, he could punt it. They punted about 6 times. I'm telling you, he could punt it. So, he was, in fact, Carter Day said
3 days.
Carter Day said he was their most effective player in the game from his punting. So, Rice is a good player.
Well, Landon Hamilton led all rushers for the not the game, but for Wills Point, he had 41 yards. And then junior Tanner Maddox had 37 yards, and then it wasn't not a lot to talk about for Wills Point.
Yeah, it's hard for the Tigers, and that's what continues to make me feel like the Eagles are better than we may even think. On defense, they are so effective. There's just simply nowhere to go for the Tigers, and a hard night for them definitely. We kind of expected that program to take a step forward this year, and because the trajectory seems to have been pointing up for them since Coach Boxley took over, but it's been a rough stretch for the Tigers. So now I will say this, and this is worth saying, it was the first time in 10 years that Canton had beaten Wills Point.
That really shocked me.
Me
when I
too.
heard that the other night.
Now remember, there were about 4 or 5 years that they didn't play each other, so that took up for some of it. But last year, at Canton, they beat them in overtime, and so, this was a long-awaited victory for the Canton Eagles.
Now, the entire district is playing Thursday night this week. Quinlan Ford and Sunnyvale are playing Thursday. Wills Point and Kemp Thursday.
That's right.
Canton Ferris Thursday. All those games are 7 o'clock. So keep that in mind if you're attending one of those games.
So you got Quinlan Ford playing Sunnyvale, and I was thinking this week will be the last week for the Eagles that you'll be a big favorite.
Yes.
These next 2 games are going to be really, really competitive. So we're going to know. I feel like we're going to know so much more about Quinlan Ford after Thursday night, seeing what they do against Sunnyvale. That's going to be very interesting. And I think the Eagles are going to be, that game's coming a week from
We're
Friday.
gonna learn. And the thing, and this is what I was going to say about Canton. Who have they played? It really doesn't matter because they've done everything they could.
Can't tell, yeah.
And for anybody that's listening from Wills Point, it's not over. I mean, I suspect that they're probably going to put up a real good showing against Kemp this week. Then they play Sunnyvale, which is probably not going to be that's going to be another difficult one.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go into the last game with a chance to make the playoffs against Ferris.
Absolutely.
So, in the way everything's structured now, Wills Point's not done. And just after looking at the way they've played this season, it has been up and down. And the ups seem to be pretty decent, but the downs seem like when it starts going bad, kind of like what you said.
Yeah.
Who scores 21 points against you in less than a minute and a half?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's it's
demoralizing.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much your whole second half, you're thinking about, are we going to keep the clock running? It's one of those nights.
Yeah.
So,
but if they can just look at what they've got coming, there's some wins available there. Of course, Kemp, and then, of course, Ferris. And you remember last year, Wills Point beat Ferris and kind of upset the apple cart for Quinlan Ford.
Yep.
So,
Wills Point and Kemp play Thursday night.
Yeah.
They're both 0-2 in district. So, obviously, the loser of that game is out.
That's right. So
that's a big game.
Yeah. So, for the Eagles, it's about to get real, and I think that people are ready to see what this Eagles team is really about. It's exciting.
I told you earlier this, I think that I suspect Wills Point's going to whoop up on Kemp.
do.
I'm wrong. I
do.
think
I
that's
would
gonna
anticipate that.
Yeah.
But you never know. But then the other thing, I even said it earlier this season, I think that Canton takes care of business this week, obviously. I think they take care of business against Quinlan Ford. And then I think we're up here talking about this team that's hanging on the wall in the restaurant where we're at going into that last week of the season. If things go the way it looks like they're probably going to, that may be a huge, huge week here in Canton.
Sure could. And that is all Canton can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what Sunnyvale is. I know who they've played. I know who they've beaten. But any one game,
Sure.
it's got a life of its own.
Absolutely.
And if Canton can earn the opportunity to stay undefeated and have the district championship decided at Norris Birdwell Field, it's all you could ask for when this whole thing started.
A little bit off the topic, but TA, I wanted to tell you how impressed I was with your interviews with the Canton players last week. I was so impressed with those young men, and I told Coach Regal this on Monday. I said, "You really got some good kids."
That showed itself.
Not necessarily good football players. They are good football players, of course, but more importantly, they're good kids.
I'm glad we got to talk with them and hear what they had to say. And you're right, David. They showed they are so respectful and they're so humble. They're all about teamwork, and you can tell that Coach Regal has had a real impact on them.
Yes.
And they're
you
well
can
parented.
tell- Yes, and you can tell they enjoy playing football together.
No doubt. No
But
doubt.
you, as the question person, you did a great job the other night. Those were some good questions.
I had to come up with a lot of questions on the fly, David.
Well, you did fine. You did fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Engineer Ken, I have no more sponsorships to read about.
It comes down to knowing that we're at the Native Sun,
Yes.
first and foremost, on the corner of Buffalo and Delicious here in Canton on the square. Come down and see us any Tuesday night before the Thursday or Friday night game, depending on the weather circumstances. But in the meantime, it now gets down to Bonus Billy chimed in a while ago and said that he is listening from Tyler.
Okay,
And
well,
it is
thank you,
time-
Bonus Billy.
And it is time now for that favorite part of the whole show.
yes.
That's right. It's never been duplicated. It can't be duplicated because it's Oofy's Picks.
That's right.
And, of course, we always like to start out by sharing the sponsor
Yeah.
for the pick segment this week. So,
And we
PA,
actually-
I'm going to turn it over to you for that information.
Thank you, David. We actually have a sponsor tonight.
Wow.
This is just breaking. Oofy's Sportsbook and Concession Stand Power Ranking brings you the picks tonight. So if you want your concession stand to be considered in the power rankings, just go to oofy.com, and there's a form you can fill out, and they'll get back to you on
Is
that.
it a short form?
Probably so. Probably so.
I'm betting Brownsboro's chicken rings get entered. I'm just saying.
Brownsboro chicken rings are like a perennial #1 in the power rankings,
Yeah.
so that's hard to beat.
Hard to beat.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's probably about the only thing
Kaufman's-
they'll be winning in Brownsboro.
Ouch. Clipping,
Oh.
personal foul, David Barber.
The Godfather.
Unsportsmanlike
Did I
conduct.
say that?
You should have said it. Okay, here we go, guys.
I've heard about how much Van loves Brownsboro.
Right.
just on display right there.
Well,
Not a,
we all know how much I love them. So.
All right, game number 1. You got your 11th ranked Van Vandals. According to Max Preps, they are ranked 11th in 4A Division II. 5-2 Van at the 5-2 Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates coming off a 45-22 win over Paris North Lamar, and that's not saying much. Van -13. Your total is 56. Godfather.
Well, of course, if our game is Friday night, we might have a weather issue. I don't know. But forget all that. I'm going to go Van and over.
Van and over. Okay. Counselor.
yeah, he's right.
So reluctant. And does anyone know what the roving reporter?
Oh, yes, I do. I have it right here in front of me. The roving reporter is going to go Van and under.
Okay.
Whoa, Van and under on the roving reporter.
Yeah.
I also took Van and the under on that one.
Ooh.
So we're split on game number
2
one.
overs and 2 unders.
All right,
Okay.
Tavo, who's been chiming in on the chat, he's going Van and over.
All right, Tavo.
I think
Van
he's right.
over.
I think he's right too.
All right. Game number 2, you got your 5-2 Grand Saline Indians. They're ranked 19th according to Max Preps. They're taking on the 6-1 Lone Oak Buffaloes, who are 3-0 in district. They're coming off a 41-19 win over Quitman. And this one is Grand Saline -14. Your total is 55. Godfather.
You know, before it's all said and done, that loss to Edgewood might turn out to be a blessing for Grand Saline.
Yep.
And I think they're going to continue their momentum from last week's game. I'm going to go Grand Saline and over.
Okay, Grand Saline over.
I'm gonna preface my pick with what my dad taught me is that nothing good can come from a loss. Now that said, I hope Grand Saline learned a lesson.
But I was never a coach. So.
I think it's Grand Saline over, and I'm hoping with Prox back, there's enough of a multi-threat that it's going to open up a lot of game for Grand Saline.
Now, is he back for sure?
I was told he's supposed to be back. But
Okay. All right.
So I'll just say something about that game, too. Personally, I feel sorry for Lone Oak. That's just me weighing in. All right.
And
So-
the roving reporter says Grand Saline and over.
And what was yours, TA? Grand Saline and over?
And I'm Grand Saline and under on that one.
Ooh.
Tavo's Grand Saline and over.
All right. Here we go. Game number 3.
he's from Edgewood, guys. He doesn't think y'all can do it.
He's
Warning
anonymous.
y'all.
All right, this next game is going to be one that Wills Point can feast on, I think. They're the 2-5 Tigers. They are at the 1-6 Kemp Yellow Jackets. Kemp coming off a 77-0 loss to Sunnyvale. Boy,
And my question is, who in the heck did Kemp beat?
it was the School of the Vision.
School for the blind.
No, it's had something to do with vision.
Like I said,
It was something about vision.
school for the lack of vision.
It had vision was in the name of the school.
That's
and the
terrible,
score,
Joe.
David, the score was 7-6.
Dallas.
Really?
You know what? I was wrong. It's not Dallas impaired vision. It's Dallas inspired vision.
Inspired vision.
I was wrong. So close.
And so
House for the blind.
David, it came down to a missed extra point. Apparently,
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
that's what decided the victory. So, all right. So the game number.
Wait a minute,
I'm sorry. We're still on game 3.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry. I was so stunned that Kemp had a win.
He hasn't been able to focus.
Yes.
When I look at their schedule, I think, how'd they ever get the one? Okay.
Oh. Breaking news.
Okay.
The word from Coach Moffitt. We're playing Thursday.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
look at that.
You heard it here first.
There is no
That's right.
Friday night game.
on the Huddle Show.
That's right. So that means that once again, Ken's going to have to come up with backup programming for Friday night.
Oh, Jiminy
Aren't you glad,
Christmas.
Ken?
The greatest of the Buzzard brothers. But we'll have to play.
Okay. Well, now I forgot again. What are we focused on here?
We're on the Wills Point Tigers
Oh, yes.
Wills Point Tigers.
and the Camp Yellow Jackets.
Would you go over those numbers again?
and all their shortcomings. Okay, yes. So this one is at Kemp, and so this is Wills Point minus 14, and your total is 49.
I'm going to go Wills Point and over. I think they're going to roll this week.
I do too.
I'm with David. I'm not copying your paper. I promise I had that written down.
Counselor.
But
In fact, I'm going to tell you, I'm probably going all Van Zandt
it's the
County teams and over.
excitement. It's the excitement in your voice when you say, I agree with you.
David's right.
David's right.
David's right again.
So you went Wills Point and over?
Now, no, I am going Wills Point under because I feel like that Wills Point is going to keep Kemp from scoring at all, and it's going to be under. So that's
All right.
And
Now,
then the
what about the
way of
roving
looking at it.
reporter? What about the roving reporter?
The roving reporter says Wills Point and under.
Okay.
Wills Point and over. Under. Tavo, what's your pick? When you get a chance, type it in.
And our last game of the week, you got the Canton Eagles at 7-0 versus the 2-5 Ferris Yellow Jackets. They're coming off a loss to Quinlan Ford, 49-15. This one is Canton minus 20, and your total is 60. Godfather.
Whew. some big numbers.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go Canton and over. I just think this team can't be stopped right now.
All right.
We'll say it with a smile. David's right. I'm going to follow that.
Wait a minute. Did we get that on? Yeah, we got that on YouTube, didn't we?
Yeah.
Did you see
Video
the
documented.
Hear the enthusiasm.
All right, Canton over for the counselor
Canton
and the
over.
roving reporter.
Canton and over.
Well, we're unanimous on that game. We're all Canton in the over. I think the same. And so
All right.
there it is, y'all.
Real
Picks in the books.
Real quick, Tavo was Will's pointing over. He has not chimed in on Canton yet, but there you have that.
Okay.
And if I could,
Canton and over.
Okay, Canton over.
and if I could
Got
just
him
take a
down.
moment to go back to my breaking news, I have an update on the breaking news.
Okay.
For those needing to know this, sub-varsity games will be played tomorrow night.
Well.
Uh-huh.
So
Church night.
everything.
How many students are going to show up?
Yes. So
Your youth groups will be
Van-
depleted tomorrow night.
Van at Pittsburgh varsity game Thursday, 7 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, and all games are at 7 o'clock. Remember?
Yes, and we're all Thursday.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's simple enough. So, TA, based on that information Thursday night, your broadcast time is going to be
You'll be on air 6:45-ish. Kickoff 7 o'clock. We have a special treat on Thursday night. We have one of Canton's own graduates coming back, Aaliyah McDonough. She is studying sports media at Brigham Young University, and she will be doing some sideline work for us on Thursday night, so we're excited about that.
hey, BYU's got a pretty good football team this year.
Yes. So
You bring a little professionalism to our hodgepodge of
I hope
stuff.
not. I hope not.
Don't get your hopes up with this crew, Ken.
No way.
Well, the sad part is wait till she sees the equipment and throws her hands up in the air and goes, I can't work with this.
If she brings professionalism, it'll ruin the show.
That's right. Be some disappointed listeners. Yeah.
Our stupidity
right.
knows no bounds.
No.
That's right.
It's boundless.
We'll have to talk about that school for the visually impaired.
That joke is so teed up. I mean, it just.
You know, they should have thought about that when they named it.
I know.
So, TA, one more question before we head out. Were you at the Cowboy game Sunday?
Yes, sir, I was.
That's why the Cowboys won.
That's right.
TA was there.
He's usually there when they lose.
We went and tailgated. We had a great tailgate party. And so my Cowboy soul is happy this week.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Here we come, Denver.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Any more business, sir?
That's it, buddy.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up, and we look forward to seeing everybody at a game on Thursday night this week. So for now, for what's his name over here?
Engineer Ken.
Engineer Ken.
That feller over there.
Yeah.
Right there.
See, these Thursday games are just messing me up.
I know.
Yeah.
He's going downhill quick on this.
For Engineer Ken, for T.A. Hale and Joel Elliott, I'm David Barber, and we always like to say at the end of our program that you've been listening and watching the Huddle Show on the Bee.